Hello, everyone! Welcome to another whatever the fuck this is.
Podcast chat and shit.
Yeah, that. I have Nova again, because I can't get anyone else. She just keeps coming back.
I just sort of lay there and Delta just sort of picks me up and says, okay, we're doing this shit, okay. I apologize if there's fan noise in the background because it is hot as hell here in California right now, and I need a fan or else I will die. It's too fucking hot.
And I'm over here on the other side of the fucking country where it's like 62 degrees.
Trade you. I'll trade you my 97 degree weather for that.
God, I would love to. I love the heat.
I do too when it's not trying to kill me. You know, I've got a pool in the back, but I need to clean it.
Oh.
I need to clean the pool.
I can't get a pool where I live. My backyard is a big hill.
Oh no. You could always carve a cave out of it.
God,
That'd be cool.
would love to. It's not... Okay, half of it is a hill. The other half is a very small slope.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like you
I mean...
I'm not sure how to describe exactly.
And I'm sure with the right amount of design, you could probably make something out of it.
Oh yeah, probably, but there's also like a bunch of trees and shit back there.
Nice.
Also, it's not very big either.
Aw.
Which is good for when I have to cut the fucking grass, because, oh god.
We have our backyard's mostly taken up by the pool. We have like a small patch of grass with a shed on it, but the rest of it's the pool. It is a godsend during the summer to have.
I can imagine.
Well, because a few summers ago, it was like 1 or 2 summers ago, our AC died completely.
Oh no.
And we were getting record heats of like 102, 103 for the whole week. We were without it for a whole week because we called the guys in order to come out and repair it. And it took them forever because they were booked because, again, it's summer. Found out that the entire unit was dead, burned out completely. So it took them a while to order us a brand new one, so we were sitting here with swamp coolers going throughout the house, fans on full blast, and we were still dying. Our pool was our only savior during that time. Like, even at night, we had to keep everything running, because when the sun goes down in California during the summer, it doesn't cool off. It stays hot.
Like most places besides a desert.
Oh yeah, because, since we're surrounded by mountains, it traps the heat in.
Yep.
Where I live, on a good day, you can see the mountains. On a bad day, when there's tons of smog in the air, which there typically is, you can't see them because it's so thick. Not a great place.
That's no good. I'm kind of glad I don't live there now.
California's not a great place to live. I don't care what people will say about it. It's great to visit, but it's not great to live.
I live in the middle of nowhere East Coast, so...
Probably for the best, because here in California, living here is harder to do than traveling here, because it's more expensive to live here than to travel.
That makes sense.
Especially more recently with a ton of people from the coast, which is the most expensive place to live right now, moving to the Central Valley, and people in the Central Valley are taking advantage of it by jacking up prices. So they're making it just as expensive to live here as on the coast.
Oh, of course they are, because no one can be a good person.
Not in California,
Everyone has to be an asshole.
Not in California. It's kind of why I still live with my parents, because it's almost impossible on a single wage to live here in California. It is impossible. Because most jobs don't pay over $10 here, if you're lucky.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And that's if you're lucky. I know the only ones that pay over $10 in and out, and they pay like $13 an hour, but good luck getting a job there because they're never hiring because they're always full.
Damn.
grocery store I live next to, their minimum wage is $8 an hour.
Jesus, this is off to a depressing start.
California's a depressing place. The only reason why we're still here is because both my parents still have stable jobs. My mom works for the state, and my dad's a truck driver. Which is why on Wednesdays I can't talk, because he goes to bed supremely early since he does overnighters.
Okay. Let's get back to what we were talking about before the podcast.
Magic.
Fuck Harry Potter!
Fuck Harry Potter. Fuck its broken ass magic system that makes no fucking sense. Seriously, I have a huge beef with their so-called magic system. Like, if you were some sort of wizard, it's pretty obvious that these kids are born with magic, at least as far as I know.
I don't actually hate Harry Potter. I'm just pointing out the flaws for fun.
I've got major beef against it.
Yeah, Nova legit hates it.
I legit
and
hate
find
it.
That,
It pisses me off.
And I find that hilarious.
But the thing is that what bugs me the most is that as far as I know, these people do have magic in them. It's inside of them. So why the fuck do they need a wand? It makes no freaking sense. Like, the moment you take it away, they're all of a sudden completely useless. They can't use the magic that they're supposedly born with.
Okay, I think the answer is the same for Dragon Ball lore. Shut up.
Yeah, and that pisses me off. Because I thrive on those tiny details.
Or there's an actual answer and neither of us know it because we don't give enough of a fuck to
I've
learn.
asked people and no one's come up with an answer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that pisses me off so much, especially since I'm a person that likes to have all those tiny details worked out. I have those tiny details worked out with my magic. I have that all worked out.
Yeah, that reminds me. I have to do that because I intend to do a very magic-heavy comic at some point.
Yeah, and just like, if you have a story that revolves around this stuff, flesh it out! Don't just say, oh, they have to use a wand, and then don't elaborate on why. Like, there's no elaboration on any of it. They're just sort of told to accept it, and I can't accept that. I can't.
It'd be fine if it was just like Wizard's training wheels.
Yeah, it would be fine.
But we even have like Voldemort, Lord of all darkness himself, and Dumbledore, like the Grand
using
Master
a fucking
of all
wand.
fucking wizards. Now, granted, his is like the super powerful artifact Elder Wand,
Which is still a bunch of bullshit. Because it's still just a piece of wood.
Yeah, but alright. I remember from like the first movie, each wand has something special in it. Like, Harry's had a bit of phoenix feather in it. So there is like other shit to the wands.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, if it's all about the wands, then could anyone be a wizard? It's like, if it's all about the wands, then anyone could be. There should be no distinction between human and magic user. There's so many holes! So many goddamn holes!
Wait a second. Wait, I just remembered. At certain points, like at the beginning of the second movie, Harry did use magic without a wand.
And why don't they elaborate on it? Like, seriously.
I don't know.
Like, if you're able to use magic without a wand, then why have a fucking wand? I mean, I can understand if it's used as a focus, which would make sense, but they don't even explain that. It's like, they're just...
I think it is just a focus, because in that
then why
scene,
would Voldemort need one?
He was getting really pissed because his aunt was berating him.
Then why would
for
Voldemort and
some
Dumbledore
reason.
need them?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm not Jake.
And why couldn't anything else work
I'm
as a
not
focus?
J.K.
A
Rowling.
staff, or, like we said, a sword, or a bow. Anything could be used as a focus.
Oh yeah, I mentioned the sword of Gryffindor earlier. It's not a focus. It's just a really good sword, Nova.
I know, but I'm saying that anything could still act as a focus. Anything could.
Yeah.
I mean, for psychics,
Yeah.
it's a spoon.
Is it?
For a lot of, like, cliche psychic focuses, a spoon tends to be a big one.
But the thing about psychics is it's just their brain. I didn't think they need a focus.
In some media they do, but in a way it can be seen as a focus because it's a way for channeling their power.
That seems weird.
A focus is
simply
an object that can be used to channel or focus on something in order to bring about an energy or power. That's what a focus is.
Now I'm just imagining, like, there's a psychic, and he has his spoon, but in the center of the spoon, it's carved out, so it's like a little crosshair. So he looks through the spoon to channel his psychic bullshit.
That'd be cool. Sniper psychic. That'd be really cool, actually. And chance the spoon to, like, zoom in on shit.
Or it's like he has to have someone in the spoon's crosshairs to read their mind.
That would be hilarious. It's like, yeah, I'm an all-powerful psychic, then what's with the spoon? I need it in order to read people's minds. Well, shit.
Is this spoon custom made? Because there's like a little crosshair in it. Yeah. It was not fun getting that made.
You can do a lot of fun shit with focuses, actually, now that I think about it. Because they can be almost anything. As long as it's properly attuned to you.
Like when you think about, like, for most bards in, like, Dungeons & Dragons, it's literally just their
instrument.
It is.
It essentially is, and they use the strings in order to channel that energy into a usable form, which is what focuses typically are for.
Oh god, that reminds me of something that fucking... Wow, that GM crippled me more than I realized.
What happened?
Alright, so I was playing a bard, 5th edition. We're sneaking through this, like, wizard's compound, as he has, like, a whole bunch of, bandits under his thumb.
Mm-hmm.
We sneak through, we find this room that's got, like, 2 guys there. I start off a sneak attack, because no one else has, like, a good ranged weapon to... Well, no, there was a cleric, but she had a crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't really go into combat willingly.
Oh, no, one of those.
Big... I've told you about her.
Mm-hmm.
But, see, I start that off. Combat ensues. There's a door on the other side of the room. Gets kicked down, some bugbears come in. They gang up on me. One of them gets, like, a crit off on me, knocks me against the wall.
Oh, shit.
And I go unconscious instantly.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bard. You
have no HP.
Not only that, I am level 1.
Yeah, you ain't... Wait, bugbears at level 1?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
There was a barbarian, a cleric, and a sorcerer with us.
That's a little unfair.
And I had to tank alongside the barbarian.
Because the cleric was a piece of shit.
A little bit. Gnome just hid in the background. The gnome sorcerer. That's understandable. Caster, D6.
Yeah, he's squishy.
Like 12 AC, I think. Yeah, it makes sense for them to be in the back. But, yeah, I get crit against the wall. And the DM says, as you fall unconscious... Oh, wait, you're unconscious. Never mind. When I wake up after a short rest, I check my bag. I go through. My viol was broken.
Oh.
The one instrument I had on me, broken.
Oh, no.
Essentially making it
a bard
so
needs
I could
their
not...
instrument.
Essentially making it so I couldn't cast magic.
Yeah, that's the crux of the bard, is that they need an instrument.
An instrument or some focus, because, like, some bards, they sing, others dance. I played what was essentially the medieval violin.
Yeah, and it's just like, Jesus, fuck, that crippled you hardcore.
It did.
Ow.
It real did.
Like, I'm thankful that
And...
most spellcasters in D&D don't require a focus unless they're casting something really big. And thankfully we don't fucking use it because it's absolutely stupid.
It crippled me even more because I dropped my short bow that I had at the time.
Oh
no. We went back. I found it broken.
Son of a bitch. The DM had it out for you, jeez.
He didn't really have it out for me. I was just forced to tank when I wasn't made to tank.
Yeah, bards are not meant to tank, they're meant sit in the back.
Bards can tank. I was not a tank bard. I was a support bard.
I need to actually check our group composition. It's either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm just gonna be up on both days. But
oh god,
I know we have a bard.
I hope you can. Yeah, I think Jin's playing.
Yeah, Jin's playing a positive bard. And of course,
right.
You're the rogue. And then we have the sorcerer rogue outsider.
Yeah,
the human.
They're a Sorc rogue. Yeah, they're a sorcerer rogue Gestalt.
But they're humans, so they kind of needed that to keep up with everyone else.
They do.
They really, really do. Yeah. Jin is she. She's basically a, positive primordial that hides as a wind, so she has a lot of Asian themes around her. Because positive and voids can try to hide as the other elements, they have that sort of ability of disguise, essentially. Which is why they have such high, bluff and stuff like that.
Positives can hide as wind, and negatives hide as void. Alright.
Well, they each to their own. Like, Astro, he hides as a light primordial, which is also void. He does that.
A light primordial? Isn't it like
that's part of void.
One side of void?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, that's what
yeah,
I
light
thought.
and darkness are all parts of void, which is established pretty early on. But, yeah, we have, Jin as a bard. With a subclass of Solicer?
I'm sorry, what?
Apparently she chose Bard Solicer, so sun magic.
Oh, that's we can look that up later.
Yeah, who was this one? Tic Tackle is playing Torio, which is a Matter Paladin.
I think Bane's doing
Zisa.
Monk?
Zisa is I know it's Earth. I know it's an Earth primordial.
Yeah, it would make sense for them to be like a monk, considering Bane just wants to punch
Invulnerable
everything.
Rager.
That sounds like a barbarian archetype.
Yeah, barbarian. Earth barbarian.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I believe since he gave her multiple arms, she has multiple attacks.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to be a Sora's Wrath all over that shit.
Trust me, you guys are gonna need as much power as you can get.
Oh, do you know what a Sora's Wrath is?
I am well aware of how over the top a Sora's Wrath is, like punching a finger of a
fucking
god
love
and
a
making him
Sora's Wrath.
explode. I'm well aware of what Sora's Wrath is.
A Sora's Wrath is the best 3D anime. Fuck you, fight me.
It is. It's like the only one I will ever play because it's amazing and it's fucking awesome. I just wish everything wasn't locked behind fucking DLC.
It's a mediocre game with that horrible bit behind it, but it's the best 3D anime I've ever seen.
It is. It's very visually appealing, and just fucking fun. It's a button masher done right.
I goddamn love it.
It's a button masher done right, as they say.
Yeah, and then there's the chapters where the whole thing is just 2D animation with QuickTime events in it.
My favorite one is where you actually have to walk up to the guy and just make him shut up because he's monologuing and you just smack him.
There are several bits where you can do that.
And then you, of course, have got the negative rogue. So we got positive, negative, earth, matter, and then the single outsider who is the rogue sorcerer Gestalt.
I feel like we should kill them off as soon as possible.
I've told him, it's like, if he ends up dying, he does get reformed, and if that happens, you guys will get a side quest to go and try to find him.
Exactly! And then we can make his ass a fire primordial and get even more harmony boosts out of it.
For people listening in, primordials, at least the way I've built them for Pathfinder, is that they receive what's called a harmony buff or debuff, depending on how many primordials are in the party. If there is 2 primordials of the same element in the party, then they actually get a negative harmony buff, which is -1 to all stats and attack rolls and saves. And when it comes down to having different elements in the party, they actually gain +1 for every different element. And since we have 4 different elements in the party, that's a +4.
It's literally a diversity checklist.
It is. It literally is. It's also to prevent people from like stacking negatives and positives because or stacking voids, or etc. But basically what Harmony does is that it gives a +1 bonus to all your base stats, saves, and attack. And I have that as a buff on Roll20 to track. So I can apply it and remove it as I need it.
It's insanely strong because of that.
But there's also the drawback is that other NPCs, if you, say, get into a fight with another primordial group, they benefit from it too.
Which makes complete sense.
Because it's part of their race. The only ones that don't benefit from this are the Impure, which you guys won't be fighting an Impure on the first because they don't need it. They really don't fucking need it.
Yeah.
They're scary.
And they will carve up for delicious XP.
They have a lot of delicious XP, yes. But it takes a lot to kill them. Like most like as you've noticed is that yes, you guys are starting at level 1, but most things will be scaled in power to you. So while the guild members, if you decide to like raid a guild base, won't be too strong, they might be as strong as your basic bandit. They'll have numbers on their side. Because they're not going to send just 5 or 6. They're going to send like 10 or more.
Oh, wow, that's a lot like my games then.
Yeah, when it comes down to like the outsiders, you'll tend to face more in numbers. So you'll have more of a chance to get overwhelmed rather than just a few couple strong mobs. That's reserved for the Impure and other primordials.
I have a bad tendency to,
Overestimate.
overload my players with, I mean, you call it overestimating, but you guys get through everything I throw at you with no deaths on my part.
Well, most of our deaths have been done by us.
Yeah, like I said, none of them have been because of me.
Mm-hmm. But, to put it into perspective...
There was one player death, and Nova did it.
Yeah, that was because of unfortunate circumstances that the character happened to be...
I believe we explained it already.
Yeah, because Solomon rage blasted, and the character who was unconscious and next to death just happened to be in the 30-yard radius. Because we weren't working on a map, so I had no idea where he was.
No, we were doing theater of mind, because impromptu attack in the middle of the night and shit.
Well, at least it was funny, and at least we got someone to now actually somewhat take place in the story with another character.
I only threw one Sandman at you. I didn't think we would need a map for that.
Yeah, it's still pretty funny at the end. Though I am expecting at least someone to fall unconscious in the AE campaign. Like, a lot of the stuff I'm creating can and will one-shot you.
Oh.
Impure, most notably.
Man.
Like, you really do not want to draw their aggro. Unless you've got some AC or HP to back you up.
Alright, good thing we have a paladin.
Yeah. And essentially a berserker, an earth berserker.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's 2 people that are meant to draw aggro.
We have 2 people who are actually meant to tank. We have an actually really balanced party. We have a really balanced party.
And then there's me, who's going to be sneaking behind everyone and just chucking daggers at everyone.
Because we got like a technical main tank, which would be the paladin. Then we got an off tank, which is the berserker. We have the semi-support healer, the bard. And then we have 2 DPS. We have a pretty balanced party.
Oh god. Oh, it's beautiful.
I've never...
We didn't coordinate at all. We each individually wanted to play these things. That's what makes it great.
Yeah, which is what I'm surprised is, like... I mean, I'm that little miffed that one person decided to be an outsider, but hey, it builds group dynamic. I'm actually curious to see how he'll relate to everyone else and how he gets mixed into everything. Because for the most part, Session Zero you won't be fighting anything, you're just going to be running errands for Auntie R, which is the Bandersnatch. She's just going to be sending you around the city to do shit. And get a few free favors in the process.
Since the game, like, you wanted to be set, I want to ask if you could push it to Sunday so I could show up and record like I would like to, cause...
And I think everyone thinks it's gonna be Sunday, right? I'm gonna still check.
I don't know. Because I think, like, Tick and Yast were saying
2 days, 2
3
days,
days.
2
3 days, actually.
3 days. Oh, good. They're anticipating Sunday. Good.
I'm going to still ask in chat to make sure everyone's good for it, so that way I can make sure I also have the Foundry map ready for them. Because I only technically need 2 images for this. And yeah, it's Sunday. It's Sunday.
Alright, cool.
Because
Oh, good.
technically we'll
I
only be
won't-
needing a total of 3 images, which I've already got 2 of them made, which is the Underworks map and the Over the Hedge image. But the third map is the Foundry map, because just to give you guys a general idea where everything is for the most part. But you won't be fighting anything big. You'll just be mostly running errands and maybe getting a few free favors and breadcrumbs to the bigger actual plot that's going to happen. Because I do have a plot for this. There is a story.
Hooray.
Well, I'd expect this, so since considering you've said, this can tie in and affect the comic.
This,
Which is why I'm recording it.
well, aside from what can potentially affect the comic, you guys will be having your own story. There is a story behind yours. I'm not going to reveal exactly what it is because I don't want you to anticipate everything.
That's fair enough.
But it does have a lot to do with the guild itself. So you'll be actually dealing with a lot of stuff with the guild of mages.
Oh, I will enjoy slaughtering them mercilessly.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
Fuck them.
And I could give you a small spoiler,
Oh, yay.
because you're basically going to be dealing with something directly linked to the guild, and preventing them from doing something that might be cataclysmic. Potentially. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome.
And of course you will be given moral choices after you kill each guild member. Do you want to capture their soul and eat it for experience, or do you want to let them reform into primordials? You'll be given that choice.
Oh, for the guildmen?
Yeah, because they still have souls.
Understandable. Fuck them.
I have a feeling that everyone's going to say, fuck them, we want our EXP.
I mean, yeah, we gotta get real swole so we can kill them real hard.
The Impure, on the other hand, you pretty much will just get EXP for those because their souls can't be saved. They're lost to
Yeah.
madness. But these are things that can
It's
hit
like-
really fucking hard. Like, they will be straight up Monster Hunter style battles.
Awesome.
So if you can get on top of them and mount them, you'll be able to stun them for a while. It'll take a grapple check, but yeah.
Can we break shit, like
Yes.
cut off tails and stuff? Yes!
It'll be one of the bigger ways in order to get certain reagents, because there will be some people who will send you after Impure for something. You won't happen to necessarily kill it, you might just have to break off something and get the item and bolt it, and bolt, or such and such.
God. Since you said that we're doing months, I want...
I will say this, fighting the Impure is going to be one of the bigger ways to get primordial blood enchants.
I want to get, like, a Monster Hunter weapon now. Like Greed just reaches down, whips out a switch axe with weapon conjuration, and goes to fuck it up.
You'd have to take another point in weapon conjuring for that.
I know, but that's the beauty of weapon conjuration, is he could totally do a switch axe.
You could. You really could. It could be anything that you would form. It just can be only one weapon at a time. You could take the feat multiple times, but yeah.
Just have fun trying to find a real one to upgrade it.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to literally find a blacksmith, tell them exactly what you want made, and then they'd have to say, okay, but you gotta do something for me first.
Yeah.
Which can be
Well, you know-
varying different degrees of difficulty.
Yeah. But for those of you at home, in the game, those of us that are primordials, we can make weapons out of ourselves if we take a feat. I have that feat, and I use it to make a shit ton of daggers.
And also the benefit to that
'Cause
feat is that
I'm-
if you consume a similar weapon, like if you consume another dagger, you can upgrade the hit die on your conjured weapon.
Yes, that I was about to get that. So, daggers, they start off with a D4. If I eat another one, that bumps up to a D5 damage. Then I eat another to D6, and it goes up to a D20.
After that...
Then if I eat another, I get another D4, and I can keep going to, like, what was it, 20 D20?
Yes, after you upgrade your first weapon to 1d20, it then starts upgrading the actual dice, so it goes to 2d20, 3d20, up until 20d20. But again, obtaining the item is the hard part of that. Yes, it can get really strong, but you have to be able to obtain the items. So one of your biggest means of getting said items are either going to be getting favors from blacksmiths, or finding them off guild members.
I feel like I'm gonna have the easier time because they're just daggers.
Yeah, daggers are a lot more common.
Yeah, it seems like a very common thing that, like you think of like a soldier's basic setup, like a medieval soldier. They got their sword, they got their shield, they got their dagger, they got all kinds of.
Well, we're also dealing with guild members, so they tend to have more magic-based items. So they'll have runes, staves, wands. In some cases, robes.
Oh yeah, if I eat magic daggers, those magic buffs
Yes,
stack
they do.
as well.
You may very well find enchanted daggers off of guild members, because that's how. Because the thing about primordials is that non-enchanted items can't hurt them. So it's like the whole deal with like how silver tends to be the only thing that can hurt werewolves and undead in most games. Primordials are very similar. A basic iron weapon can't hurt a primordial.
So
you're stabbing magic.
If I eat a +1 dagger, will that also apply to the +1? And then if I eat, oh my god, that would.
Yes, it would.
Oh my god.
Yes, it would.
Oh my god. Oh, the power of stabbiness.
Yeah, the possibilities are insane if you can get to it. That's why I'm actually glad that another person took a conjured weapon feat, which was the Matter Primordial, who took a conjured mace, or Morning Star. And the best thing is that you can apply primordial blood if you have the feat to the conjured weapon too. Told you this.
That you did.
And primordial blood all does different things. In fact, let me bring it up. It's linked on...
Each one does a different thing. I know Void makes shit go Vorpal.
Yep.
Fire, it probably just gives it like a
Let me bring
damage,
up
right?
the thingy. I just gotta find it.
Oh, how would muddled blood work?
It does both of the elements, but halves them.
Oh, that's cool.
AE Pathfinder rules. Here we are. Let me bring it up. But let's see. There's the Harmony feat. Here we are. Primal Enchanting. Primordial Enchanting effects. Fire, Immolation. Targets struck by this weapon take 1d6 points of damage for 1d4 turns. Constant attacks, stack duration.
Oh, it's a stackable damage over time. Oh, that's real good.
Wind.
Oh,
Wind.
man.
Wind step. Area around the wielder bends to their will. Gain plus 20 movement and cannot be affected by attacks of opportunity.
Oh, that's real good.
Waterlogged. Targets struck by this weapon gain negative 20 foot movement and gain negative 50% resistance to electricity. So they're essentially soaked. Earth. Quake. As a standard action, the wielders of this weapon can cause a small tremor in a 10-foot radius. Targets take 1d6 damage and all targets must make a reflex save DC 12 or be knocked prone. It's a standard action, but yeah. Void. Soul of the Void. Weapon becomes vorpal and can now pass through solid objects.
Oh, that's right. It hits their soul.
Matter. Sanguine Rebellion. If used against an outsider class enemy composed of organic material, cause the material to rebel against its host and deal extreme damage. Class level D20.
God, that is terrifying.
Negative. Soul Rend. Causes target soul to bleed out on hit. Deals constant 1d6 damage until target expires. Only affects creature with a soul. Target can do a will save DC 15 to overcome the effects and gain immunity to further applications for 2 turns.
So would that also apply to Impure because they have a soul?
Yes. It's corrupted, but they still have a soul.
Nice.
Positive. Empowered Soul. If the target has a soul, the wielder of this weapon can empower the target to gain +2 to all attack rolls for 3 turns. This effect can also be used on the wielder.
God, they are made to be bards.
Yeah, they really are.
You made a bardic race, Nova.
Positives are really good bards. I mean, they kind of are built for that. They're creatures that bolster emotion. Negatives are the ones that damper it.
Angry bard. Very angry bard.
Well, like Ferrego's more of a berserker. His primary emotion is rage.
There goes the joke. Okay.
I know. But the feat we were talking about earlier, Conjure Weapon, is create a weapon type from your own mana. Only one weapon type can be created by choosing this feat. Taking this feat multiple times increases the weapon types you can make and use. This weapon cannot be destroyed and can be stored within the body and has no weight. Weapon can be of any type and takes on the basic stats of a starting weapon. You can consume other weapons to add bonuses to the conjured weapon. These effects can stack. Conjured weapons can be enchanted with primordial blood. Consuming a non-similar weapon, add bonuses from that weapon. Consuming a similar weapon, increased hit die damage, example 1d4 to 1d5, max of 1d20. Upon reaching max, further consumption increases the number of die, but to 20d20.
Oh, so I could eat like a magic short sword and get the magic onto my dagger?
You just won't get
Cool.
the die increase.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
But, each, primordial type also has their own feats that they can choose from aside from the standards. Like, fire and primordials can, basically, it's called Blaze. Fire primordials are known for their absurdly high body temperature and aggressive magic. Add +3 damage to any fire-type spell cast.
Man, this podcast is gonna be very useful for people that want to, like, understand the game that's gonna get recorded.
I made primordials very unique, but very strong because they have to be for their particular sort of world. The planes are not very safe. I mean, what we've seen...
They're insane.
What we've seen so far has been extremely tame due to the fact that they haven't left the city yet. Once you get out of the city, shit gets weird.
I feel like it's so insane that you could put a Sora's Wrath in there and it would be like, yeah, that's just another day here.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That's
like,
great.
I almost seriously, I could seriously imagine like a fight in that between like a large boss would be between two lords. They do fight.
Oh.
They can and they have fought before. Fire and water get into it all the time. Earth and water tend to fight a lot. Earth and wind fight a lot.
Oh no.
They fight a lot. That's literally like Earth Knight versus Giant Dragon.
Dragon Mom, no.
Well, Dragon Grandma, but yeah. She's old, but she can kick ass.
I mean, she doesn't have a grandchild.
No, she has a son.
Yeah. Dragon Mom.
Her son's a little shit, though. We'll get to see that. Fafnir is very much a little shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's, like, his mother's a big advocate for having outsiders in the plains and is very nice and sweet. Her son is the exact opposite.
Oh, he's gonna make a great lord. I just know.
Oh, yeah, he really wants to become a lord, but he knows he has to wait for his mom to die.
Oh, it's not like he wouldn't do anything to help that along now, would he? No.
Oh, he's tried. He's tried.
He's already fucking tried. What a go-getter.
Now, pay in mind, Vaxier's used to this because she did the same thing with her father. As the elder dragon starts getting older, the younger will start trying to take over. It's part of how they are.
Oh, I did that when I was your age, sonny boy.
I know them tricks. No, her death will actually be quite sad when it comes around. She will be dying.
Oh.
I will say that, but I'm not saying how, I'm not saying when, but she will be dying. I guarantee that people are gonna cry over it, because it's wow. Not gonna to say what it is, but just, yeah. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be angry at me when it happens, but this has been in plans.
Oh, they can get the fuck over it.
Huh?
Oh, they can get the fuck over it.
This has been planned since the very beginning. Almost every character death has been planned.
I mean, yeah, it's goddamn computer. Don't you fall fucking asleep on me right now, goddamn it.
Now, I know how some fans are like, oh no, you can't kill this character. I love this character. Too bad they're mine. They're my characters. I can kill them if I want to.
Oh man, I love this character. Well, sonny boy, you're about to get a little dose of Homestuck from this comic.
There's gonna be several characters that are gonna die. Several.
You die, you die, you die. Everyone dies except you.
Well, technically, everyone in the comic, aside from Kana and Phineas and Izumo and a few outsiders, have already died.
I mean, yeah, but second dying.
Mm-hmm.
Into complete non-existence.
Which is kind of sad when you think about the dragons that are in charge of Wind, because it's a long family line. But since their souls are tainted with the Lord's energy, even if they die, they don't get reborn. They just straight up cease to exist. Even if they're not primordials themselves. That's how the energy...
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah. The fact that you're born only to know that the end of your life is the end of the road. Kind of terrifying. But that's why they tend to be very long-lived. They're very long-living dragons. Like, Baxier's been around for... She's, like, in her 5,000s-ish. But that's in primordial years, so that's, like, times 10 for the outside.
Alright, compare their 5,000 to our Earth.
Now, the way I've worked time between our Earth and theirs is that every second here is a minute there. So you can do the math from there.
Someone's gonna do it. It's probably gonna be me
I've
by the
done
end of the podcast if I remember. You did it?
Yes, I've done it before, but every second here is a minute there. Every minute there is an hour there. Every hour here, as you can tell, is 60 hours there. And every day for them is 48 hours, well, 24 here. So two of our days is one of theirs in their time.
So every hour is like a day and a half for them. Fuck.
And it all depends on different worlds, how either closer to the planes they are, how connected to the planes they are, because ever since the Shattering, all the timeways got fucked. So every world connects to the planes differently, so therefore the time distortion is different based from world to world. Some may be more on par with their time schedule, some, like Earth, may be completely fucking skewed.
Fucking guild fucking up everything.
Yeah. The Shattering did more than just break apart Void and all the planes in general into this just massive magic. Because, think of it this way, what the planes used to be is they used to be 7 actual planets hovering around a core at the outside of the edge of the multiverse. Like, sort of in the center of it all.
So it was like a little solar system.
Yeah, until the Shattering literally erupted that entire thing and turned it into almost like a endless, chaotic magic nebula of just fuck. So the planes themselves still sort of try to operate, but the Lords literally have some, like, how can I explain this? They've sort of projected what used to be into this nebula cloud. That's why portals and that's why the train are so integrative, because without them they don't actually have a physical presence.
Huh.
Basically, shit's fucked up. And what Madarakt is...
Man, fuck the
what
guild!
Madarakt is trying to do is he's trying to rebalance and reignite all the elements so that the way the planes can start pulling itself back together. Because it has self-repair functions.
I understand.
It can repair itself. It can't because it's currently still hemorrhaging.
I mean, yeah, you have told me it is like a living thing, so it makes sense.
Oh, wait till we actually get to meet the living thing.
Oh, God. That's gonna be fucking
You
weird.
might actually meet it in the campaign, depending on how things go. I've actually drawn
I
it!
can. I can imagine us ending up meeting it.
Well, because while the body itself is completely fucked up, it does have a central core. Sort of like how you would think an AI works.
For some reason, I just imagine it's like this eye. It's like, hey guys, what's up?
No, it's...
I know that's not how it's going to be, but I just like to
Yeah.
imagine it's like this little cheery guy that's like, man, my life is pretty fucked up. Hey, do you think you could go murder those guild guys so I could fix myself? That'd be great.
Oh yeah, it's all for guild destruction. It is all for it. Trust me.
I can imagine so. I imagine anyone who actually knows like what primordials are is for guild murder.
Oh yeah, because for the most part, the guild, the higher ups have essentially brainwashed and used propaganda to make people think that primordials are nothing but monsters. They don't seem to. They make people not realize that they're just the souls of the departed.
Or the part to realize it like, oh hey, yeah, they're kind of holding magic together.
Yeah, as we've seen with Null, the only reason why it's still not lashing out is because of the Allfather himself. He actually sacrificed the last bit of what he had to keep it contained. That's the entire reason why the realm of Null is so fucked up, because that energy is still going out of control. It's only being barely held back.
Man, fuck the guild.
Because that was their...
I can't wait for session 2 where I can stab someone in the
Technically
face
session 1.
and have it be a guild member. Yeah.
Because Sunday is session 0 when everyone just starts getting the group together, and I'm gonna send you out on some meager stuff to go around.
Remember, kids, if you play D&D, session zeros are important. That way you can understand the characters and dick around.
Yeah, and this will also be get a good chance to get a feel for the city and probably get some early favors in, because for the most part you will be answering to Auntie R, who's the Bandersnatch. She's gonna be your go-to informant for the most part, especially due to the fact that we have a negative and a positive in the party. And that tends to be their sort of base of operations, is that tavern.
I've always wondered, how do people get into the information broker game?
Depends on who you know.
Yeah, it's just like, how does one become an info broker? That's something that's always interested me.
Well, in the case of Auntie R, she's actually a very influential figure where she's from, which is a world called Wonderland. Yes, that is a thing that exists here. It's like an alternate Fae universe in a way, but they call it Wonderland because it's just populated by the Fae. But her and her sister run basically one of the largest transports between Fae realms and the planes, which makes her a very prominent figure with the lords. Because since she controls this, she controls a lot of stuff that goes through, like goods, shipping, information. And as such, she's also been living in the plains for a long time. So she knows a thing or two.
Now, does she really give a fuck about, like, the positives and the negatives and all that shit?
She wouldn't be harboring them if she didn't.
Fair enough.
She basically allows them to create what the positives have currently is they have a sort of, it looks like a singular room, but thanks to a few friends in Void, they've been able to...
It's a pocket dimension.
It's a pocket dimension, yes. The negatives have a similar function, except they are more in tune with a few matters than Voids.
Matters, really?
They have a few matters that have chosen to listen to them. Like I said, when it comes down to positive and negatives, their alloys are very few, but they're also very loyal. They have, positive, however, has touched bases with the Lord of Fire. The Lord of Fire has actually allowed positives to create a gateway into his palace. So they can go from their little pocket dimension inside the tavern right to the plane of fire.
Oh goody, Leonard's been a good boy to them.
Yeah. Astrov's been a pretty good diplomat so far, but so far they've only really touched bases with fire. Negative hasn't been having as much luck.
I'm not surprised at all by
It's
that
because
statement.
Zenith is a bit more brash, and not as
He's a jackass.
he is. I won't step around that. He is a jackass. He does care a lot for his people, though. I will say that he cares a lot for his kids, as he calls them. But he wants a
And
quick.
they in turn call him Papa Zenith.
But he wants an actual solution. He doesn't want to step around and tippy-toe around matters like Astrov is. He wants to get straight to the problem.
And then there's my character, who is made for stepping around shit.
Uh-huh. But Zenith is very straightforward, while Astrov is a bit more floaty, I would say, about that. They both have their own ideas and means and methods. Neither is good, neither is evil. That's how I like playing.
Despite them literally being black and white.
Yeah, but that's what they're meant to show. They're meant to represent life, death, positive, negative. And the only actual evil here is the guild.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, they're led by a bunch of absolute fuckfaces, but
That is a phrase I'll be saying very often throughout probably the rest of this podcast and the game.
yeah, because the thing is that a lot of people are brainwashed into thinking primordials are monsters. Many are brainwashed into thinking that they're meant to be controlled, that this magic is meant to be in their hands, that primordials have stolen the magic in some cases, and such like that. And the entire reason that this continues is because the Guild Council want the planes for themselves. They believe that magic should be theirs.
If they could convince people that Primordial stole magic, that must be some ingrained ass shit.
They've done it.
You know what? That's impressive on their part.
Well, pay in mind, there's several worlds that lost
Go fuck
the ability
yourself nonetheless.
There's several realms that lost the ability to use magic after the shattering. They pin the blame on primordials instead of themselves. They pin the blame on the shattering, saying that it was used as a weapon against the outside by the primordials. Some even twisted it, saying that they killed off their own element to lash out like this. There's a lot of twisted fucking lies that they've done. A lot.
And now the better question is, how many of them actually took the fucking time to learn what happened?
Huh?
How many of them actually took the time to learn what the fuck happened?
None of them.
Exactly. They don't fucking know.
No. Because the group that they sent out to actually do the deed never came back. None of them survived.
Oh.
Not one.
Alright, yeah, that would not help.
No, the task forces that they sent to kill the Null Elementals and the Elemental Lord Null, they succeeded, but none of them made it out alive. Because the moment Gavin died, the element erupted. And it killed everything in that area.
Because there was no one to take his place?
Hmm?
Is that because there was no one to take
Yeah.
his place?
There was no one there to take his place, and when there is no primordial there, no soul that is attuned to that element, and Null's a very specific element, it went berserk.
God, the guild seems to embody, can we do this? Let's do it, instead of should we?
Yeah, they are. They really are.
God, it's a group of mad fucking scientists.
A bunch of self-absorbed mad scientists.
Man, fuck them.
But basically what happened is
Just take a rusty
you
pipe.
basically had the entire embodiment of the element of time rupture when Gavin died. That's essentially what happened. And the shattering, while also explosive, essentially sent a giant time ripple through the multiverse.
They killed time.
Yeah, they did!
Why would they kill time of all of
Because
them?
they believed that killing the Lord granted them access to that power to steal. That backfired. Big time.
Alright, with that belief in mind, that's understandable.
They believed that killing the creatures that controlled it allowed them to take control over it. That was not the case. Without anything controlling it, it went berserk.
I wonder how much evidence they had to back that up, though.
Not much. Because the funny thing is that as the Allfather will state, it's like they could have just asked. They couldn't.
They could have just... Oh my god.
Yeah. That is actually a line he will be saying much, much later when he eventually shows up.
That's fantastic.
Someone's going to ask him, it's like, then why didn't the guild just look into this? It's like, and then the Alpha will just say they could have asked, but they didn't. They chose the aggressive route. They chose to take instead of learn. And that was the downfall.
For a bunch of mages that are meant to, like, learn and shit, man, they're...
Pay in mind, their
assholes.
leaders are driven by greed, so they want the power for themselves. They want to be the ones to control this magic. They want it.
And then I'm sitting over here being actual greed. A worthy opponent.
Yeah, but at least...
Whose greed will outshine the other?
But the thing is that also when it comes down to negatives, is that while they do embody their specific element, they still understand the opposite. They understand that with one thing, there can't be... Without one thing, there can't be another. There has to be still some balance. That is... In fact, positive and negatives are the ones that probably know the most about balance than anyone else.
Oh, good. I can totally grandstand above someone from that angle. Awesome.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yes! Fucking fantastic.
They are like the masters of doing that shit.
Oh, I'm going to abuse that, you
Good.
know.
Do it.
You will take my plus 14 to intimidate, bitch!
That's another cool thing, is that since your character is based around greed, they know the ins and outs of greed. They know the difference between greed and envy. They know the ins and outs of what it can do to someone. And in a way, they understand it so much that they can't fall completely to it. They understand it so well that they literally can't become overcome by their own greed, because they know it. They know how far they can go.
Oh my god.
It's like with,
Oh, that's great.
it's like with Zenith. He knows everything of despair to the point where it doesn't affect him. I mean, he can be happy as he even is sometimes even jovial because he understands despair to its core. And that's how negatives and positives work with their represented elements. They understand it.
Huh. I did not understand that when I made greed.
Now you do. And it means you can abuse it even more.
Alright. And maybe a little less. Because I was totally going to play him as getting consumed by the greed. Because, yeah,
No.
that's what he is.
If anything,
Greed.
he can make someone else can get consumed by the greed because he has essential control over it.
But it makes the... But now it makes the dumb, whose greed shall be the greater greed. It just makes that shine even better.
If anything, he can actually amplify someone's greed to overtake them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, like,
Nova.
if you say go to water and decide to gamble, you can actually make a water primordial's greed overstep their common sense, and you can actually force their hand.
Oh.
It doesn't have much effect on us on primordials as it will outsiders. Like, you could easily con outsiders with that, without a doubt.
God, I'm going to love abusing the fuck out of this if I can. Like, assuming I'm like Metal Gear Soliding my way through a guild compound, I have the cardboard box and everything, and then I just hear two guys, and I'm like, greed sparkles all over that guy. He's just like, I want the last chocolate bar, and he stabs the fucker for it.
You technically can do that, because I believe negatives have a trait that allow them to exude that particular emotion. Let me look it up.
It's
Consuming aura. It's under it's actually under extra feats, but negatives get consuming aura as an extra feat and causes the area around you to darken, reducing vision by half. Outsider class enemies must roll a will save at the start of their turn, DC 15, or be dazed. Further failed rolls call the outsider class enemies to feel extreme emotional duress based on the negative's primary emotion. Yours would be greed. And after 3 failed rolls, the negative can influence target to end its own life. You can literally make someone greed themselves to death.
Oh, I'm going to have so much fun with this.
Negatives and positives may have a lot of influence over outsiders, but that's where their influence tends to focus.
What was that you
Sorry.
cut out?
As I was trying to say, is that negative and positives tend to have a lot of influence on outsiders. That's their forte.
Oh, okay.
When against outsiders, which you'll be doing a lot of, you guys are really good. But against other primordials, not so much. That's where you start to lack.
Oh man, I'm like an anti-guild weapon.
You are!
Yes!
That's actually another reason why you guys might meet the core, is because it has a lot to do with the negative and positives. A lot.
Oh, I'm so glad to play a negative.
Yeah. I'm actually glad that there's both a negative and a positive in the party. Because we get to explore
I am
both
too.
sides. Which means you guys might be working with Astrov and Zenith.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's guaranteed to be working with Zenith because he's gonna be part of the plot here. He's got a big role in the plot.
Papa Plague Doctor's gonna be coming around, y'all.
Well, a big reason is because next to Astrov, he's the most proactive. Because he fucking hates the
Yeah.
guild. Zenith fucking hates the guild. Because he realizes that in order to bring balance to the planes, they also have to get rid of the thorn in its side.
And that is what Zenith agreed to do for father-son bonding. They raid guild camps.
I can see that, yeah. I can easily see that. I can see that easily.
That's beautiful.
The funny thing is Zenith usually does that as a means of looking for souls that can actually become negatives. He will go out and actually raid guild bases for that. It doesn't always work, but in some cases, he does just devour the soul to gain power, or he'll set it free to become a primordial of its own right. He's not a bad guy. He just has his own methods that might make him look bad.
He's just very aggressive.
He's very aggressive, yes.
And then there's the one time when he turned a guild guy into a negative. He's like, You see, Jim? We're not fucking monsters, you goddamn piece of shit. Fuck you for being a guild member." And Jim's standing there like, "What? Mm-hmm. What? Ah!" Did that actually happen, or am I...
I believe it was one of them that happened, but that negative did quickly die because they got it over their heads.
So he did turn a guild member into a negative.
Yes, he was able to do that before, but that negative did
that's-
get killed, and that was actually by Madarak's hand. That was a terrifying... As you can imagine, that must be very terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm still just like glad that he was able to do that
Yes.
itself.
It did destabilize Positive for a bit until Positive was able to get their own soul, because typically negatives and
Oh
positives...
yeah, they have to be made in pairs,
Have to be made in
or shit
pairs,
gets
yeah.
fucked. And then there's the third fuckers of neutrals, which
They're created at the moment a positive and negative is born.
they're there.
They're sort of created from the
They're just
runoff
there.
energy, essentially.
For those of you at home, think of the neutrals from Futurama. That's pretty close to what we're going for here.
The funny thing is the way me and Jin kind of built the neutrals is that they still have some sort of shape and form, but they tend to be very chill, very quiet. They don't really bother anyone. They sort of just embody that sort of dead space in emotions.
Yeah, that's like the ones from Futurama.
But the funny
Like
thing
the
is
guy-
that we were thinking, like, do they have, like, facial features? And Jin's like, no, they should have paper, and they should draw on the paper faces like you do in Okami.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh god.
Oh my god.
And so I decided to give them masks that they can carve out. Some just don't put anything on it, but some will, like, carve out, like, symbols or shit like that.
Like there's one guy, I drew a triangle.
Yeah.
This is my face forever now.
Yeah, essentially. We won't... You might see a
And-
few
and he-
neutrals, but they tend to... Like... They eventually...
They tend to die because they don't do shit.
Yeah, they you don't really see them because they sort of act on nothing. Most of them actually do, in fact, die because they don't fight back.
What do I want to do today? Oh yeah, nothing, because I'm a neutral. Okay.
As Zenith and Astrov usually call them, they're worthlessness incarnate. They're a side effect.
A side effect of another side effect.
Yeah! Essentially. They are essentially a side effect of a side effect.
Man, primordials are fucking weird.
I know, and I love it. I love my creatures.
Of course you do, because you fucking made them.
Exactly. I mean, why wouldn't I love the creatures I made? Why would I be making a comic about them?
I mean, unless you were getting paid, I don't know.
Kinda. I mean, my patrons support me, so I guess I kinda am getting paid. I guess. A little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, but getting paid through Patreon is different. You made the work first, and people flock to it.
Yeah. Then people support me.
I mean the other kind of getting paid. Like it's like your 9-to-5 thing.
Oh no, the comic is everything for me.
Yeah, no, that's your. Was it 1 a.m. to 1 a.m.? Yeah. There we go.
Essentially, it is my everything. There's no time. It is. I live and breathe this comic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be working on it if I didn't love it. That's what matters.
I mean, that's how like all webcomics are. If people didn't want to make them, they wouldn't be making them.
Yeah, and there's several times when I've seen people quit making a comic because they stopped feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
one of
sad
our
when that
newest
happens,
members to
'cause-
Comicadia is redoing their comic because they felt they could do it better. You know Dojo?
Yeah.
They've joined Comicadia.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
they've left Spider Force and they've joined us, and they're working on a complete redux of their comic Presley Brickstone.
I don't think I've actually read their work. I just know their name.
She's he's redoing it. Sometimes I get mixed up, but I get Dojo mixed up with 66 sometimes because I talk to them all the time. But Dojo is, I've seen some of his newer pages and they look fantastic. But he's taking a bit.
That is an odd name, 66.
66 is also known as the creator of City of Blank.
Yeah, no, I know who they are. I read their work.
She's
I'm just
pretty
like,
cool.
It's like just like their username is just a number.
I know she used to go by the name Rexers, but then she started calling herself 66 because she didn't want to be called the same name as her main character.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Like with Callie. And Callie.
Yeah. I still haven't read Callie's
Yeah.
comic because I just can't get into it.
It's long. It's edgy. A lot of things dying. Like from the get-go, that edge is kicked up to 9.
Yeah, I tried reading it. I just got bored.
Wait, no, it's 10. My bad. The edge is instantly kicked up to 10 for Callie's.
I tried reading it, but I kind of just got bored. I felt like the whole idea of like the analogy of a roller coaster when it comes down to a story. Hers was nothing but a constant drop, and it didn't have any breathers. That's the only way I could describe it, is that it was a constant drop without a breather. Because typically on a roller coaster, you climb up and climb up, you gotta build up, then you drop it, but then you come back up, and you kind of level out, and then you go back up again. You have the hills and peaks. I couldn't feel that with Callie's.
It does have those, just later on.
Yeah, and in the very beginning, it gets too exhausting to really read.
Very beginning, God, I don't remember how it starts off, but there's a lot of dead people. I remember that much.
Yeah.
A lot of dead people.
I mean, Callie, if you ever hear this, if you ever choose to read your first 2 chapters, give some people a breather. Like, build it up a little bit. Give us some action, but then level it out, because holy shit.
Nova, I don't think she will. This is like her 3rd reboot already.
I know. But that beginning is what kind of killed it for me. It's just like, I couldn't keep reading. She seems nice. She seems like a nice person, but I could not do it.
I mean, hey, there's the other 2 comics you do, which they're better in that regard. They're a lot better in that regard.
Only thing I have is that I have her as an affiliate on my website. That's the most I've done. Like, if you go to my website and you click on affiliates, she's on the list. As well as a few other people I know, like Mars is on there. I got Draco. I've got my friend. Fuck. I forgot his name.
I should really draw up affiliate banners for people.
Yes, you should. I also have a book for monsters, a few other people. I have an affiliates page. My archive page still needs some work, but I got my About and Cast page done. I need to fill out my extras. I just don't know what to put in extras yet. I might put fan art in extras whenever I get, like, established fan art.
I mean, you've gotten stuff from 66, I think.
Those were more or less commissions for Patreon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they've stopped doing the $5 sketch commissions, but I don't care. I still choose to support them anyway.
Yeah.
And apparently I've gotten 66 addicted to drawing my characters. As she said, I can't stop drawing your characters because they're so fun. Actually, what exactly?
I mean, they are all wavy and bendy and shit.
Yeah, here it was on the announcement. Whatever works for you in the end, dude. I'll always keep supporting you. Thanks so much, Nova. Sometimes I gotta draw more of your fun characters just for the heck of it.
Out again.
Fuck you, Discord. It'll come up in post recording. Yeah. But she always seems to comment that my characters are fun to draw.
Well, you do have an interesting way of drawing them, which you try to copy that. You're probably gonna have fun drawing it, because just...
It's so different, I'm guessing.
Yeah. There's I'm thinking that it's really more just like the hair you put on them. like with Madarakt and Makumbo. Just like, how the fuck did that work? And the answer is, shut up.
Their hair is, like, Madarakt's hair is actually more of a gas than actual physical form. So it tends to be kind of see-through, almost. Hell, the way I draw him is I actually draw Madarakt bald before I add the hair on. If I actually remove the hair layers, he's completely bald. Yeah.
So if it's a gas, the fuck is it made of then? Like,
methane!
What kind of...
Methane and different types of other, gases.
Alright, what if I throw a fireball at his head then?
It would catch on fire. Wouldn't hurt him. He would just put it out and be mildly annoyed at it.
I just like the mental image of he suddenly turns into Hades for a second.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I had that idea for when he gets angry, but I chose to scrap it.
It's probably for the best, and just keep that to Leonard, who is the actual fire guy.
Yeah. But, with Leonard, when he does get mad, his hair flares up. But thankfully we haven't seen him mad yet.
Oh boy.
He's usually a pretty nice person. Like, the voice that I give him is Dr. Doppler from Treasure Planet. Like, he's a very calm and kind individual. He can get mad, though.
It's been years since I've heard that name.
I love Treasure Planet. But that's the voice I kind of give Leonard in sort of the mannerisms in a way. But when he gets mad, he gets mad. Because fire may embody, like, warmth and stuff like that, but it also embodies anger. Fire primordials are like a ticking time bomb. They are very easy to get angry.
One could even say an inferno of rage.
Hey! I love when making puns about this shit. most people don't realize is that a lot of this shit is just prime for puns half the time.
I wonder how many water primordials go around making nothing but ocean-related puns.
A lot of them. A lot of them. So many. I mean, their entire realm is literally an endless ocean.
Well, hey there, Lord. I see you're being a bit of a beach today.
And then they're killed. And then Glacia will sit there. Glacia will sit there for a few seconds and go, that was good.
and then one guy goes like, hey, maybe you should chill out, because you're ice primordial. Bang. They're dead.
Yeah, Glacia is a bit nonchalant. But he'll kill them and then after a few seconds go, okay.
That actually was a good one. Too bad it's dead. Alright.
Next.
Bring me his soul. It's dinner time now.
Yeah, when it comes out to water primordials, death is extremely common because of their society. Which is very mafia mob-based. Like, they change lords so often.
I can only imagine how often they have to have water primordials come in to keep a stable population.
A lot.
Like, would you say they have the highest growth rate?
Yeah.
Like, sorry okay.
Like, it's not uncommon. Like, the advisor, for instance, they actually have a system set up for the advisor where it's a family line. Like, there was an outsider family that basically primed one of the kids in a certain generation to become the water advisor, and then they'll send them there to drown and become a primordial. It's like a coming of age thing.
Oh, that's fucked.
It is. But,
Don't worry, little Timmy. You're going off to do what you've been born to do. Drown!
Essentially. But,
God, that is so fucked up.
there's some really fucked up shit. I mean, there's several families on the outside that do this. There are several families that do this, actually. And there's some that actually live inside the planes, and they become what's called imbued. Now, these are people over generations of living in the planes have essentially become half primordial in a way. They've literally...
So they've kind of...
The planes have essentially infused them.
Evolved to be half primordial just from living there so long.
Yeah, they've essentially evolved and been exposed
That's
to
awesome.
the energy for so long that they've essentially become native. But it's a long, painful process, and most don't survive it. So there's a lot of kids that are born dead because they couldn't handle the energy.
What does the guild think of them?
They put them in the same boat as primordials.
Okay. And they continue to be assholes for it. Alright, fuck them.
They consider anyone that is an ally with a primordial to be nothing. They consider basically anyone who's an ally to a primordial to be completely a lost cause.
Man, the more things you say about them, the more things just build up in my head of I want to do this, now I want to do this to them. Oh man, what if I just set the whole camp on fire at once? Or call down a lightning storm like fucking Thor on them. That would be great.
I'm glad I'm building this distent for them. I'm happy about this.
I mean, it works for my character too, because him being a negative, you know, he's yeah. Zenith probably on many occasions has told him, "Hey, you see that camp over there? Go kill him."
Oh yeah, easily.
And Gree just gives it like, I don't know what it's called, but it's gonna be some dumb meme shit. Never mind.
But the thing is that positive and negatives are very good weapons to use against the guild. Because they don't have weapons to use against them.
Oh, that's right. Because negatives get DR against anything that's not like a magic weapon too.
Because that's the...
I forget how much DR that is. I think it's like 5 or 10.
Let me bring it up.
I know it's a significant amount that will actually save my ass many times
Let
in the
me look
future,
it
probably.
up. Hold on, 'cause I have it written down. I just gotta find it. Traits. Should be under traits.
Should be.
Tough to kill. While bearing no elemental resistances or weaknesses, negatives gain +2 natural AC against unenchanted weapons.
You cut out again. God damn it, Discord, you piece of shit.
Well, at least it'll be here on the recording, right?
Yeah, I know, because you're recording your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah,
You're
again,
recording your
tough
own
to
audio.
kill. This is a trait, so all negatives get this. While bearing no elemental resistances or weaknesses, negatives gain a +2 natural AC against unenchanted weapons.
Oh, it's AC. I thought it was DR.
No.
Never mind. Okay.
All primordials essentially get DR against unenchanted weapons. Because they're made of fucking magic!
How much? So they have to be hit with enchanted weapons to do damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Or a special ore, which only they have access to.
Alright. So, anything we come across the guild has meant to kill has to at least be a +1 weapon.
Yes.
Wow! That. Oh, the stacking of magical bullshit.
Yeah. Or most guild members use magic itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Some might even enslave a primordial and make it fight for them. Because there are rituals and spells that can do that.
Oh, that fucker.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can do it outside. Why can't they do it inside?
Yeah, no, it's just painting a big target on their back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're controlling him? Darted dagger in his head. There you go, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Hell, you might even get a few favors for freeing a primordial that's under their control.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I imagine end up having to kill a few because we couldn't free it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can at least kill their physical form and free the soul.
Oh yeah. Because it would.
Because the way
Go and
unconscious,
fuck off.
yeah, because the way unconsciousness works with primordials
It's
is that they don't go
it's
unconscious.
akin to a vampire.
Yeah. The thing is that when a primordial dies on the outside, they just go back to the planes. But if they die in the planes, their physical form dissipates and they're left with their soul. The soul can still move around, but it's got only 10 hit points, and if it gets knocked down to 0, it dies. So they have a chance to get away and reform. Basically, they have to get away and channel for 3 turns to reform their physical body.
And then I come along, I just take out a glass jar. Scoop. There
Yeah,
you
here it is.
go.
When a primordial enters unconscious state, 0 and below, they are reduced to their soul and may still move. In order to reform their body, they must escape to a point where there are no hostile entities within 10 feet and make 3 successful fort saves, once per turn, to recover their physical form. If a primordial soul is defeated, that primordial permanently dies.
Okay, now what is the DC for that fort save?
DC
then?
10.
Okay. Oh wow, that's fucking nothing. All right.
Yeah. As long as they're not interrupted, they'll be fine, but they have to make 3 in a row. Basically, they just have to make 3 successful saves.
And that glass bottle will add like I don't know 1 hit point because they have to get through the glass fast.
Yep.
Fuck you, guild. I've thought around your bullshit with glass.
And then here's another one. If an outsider dies, a primordial may choose to devour its soul and gain EXP. However, it can also be left alone and will form into a primordial of the current plane in 1d4 turns. So if you say kill a guild member and decide not to consume it, it might turn into an ally in the next couple turns.
Okay. Now, say mid-combat, I were to kill someone, which I will at some point. What type of action would it be to just eat their soul right then and there?
Be like a quick action, because you can just grab it and eat it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, grabbing a soul and eating it for a primordial is like nothing. They do that normally.
I just didn't know, like, cause like, it's gonna be mid-combat, things are hectic, it might be a bonus action, might be another standard action, because...
It'll be a quick action.
It might be considered like taking a potion, which...
Well, it doesn't heal you or anything, it'll just give you experience at the end of the fight. It won't give you any benefits.
Hello, delicious XP.
Essentially, it's just my way of saying, hey, this is how you get EXP. Because I like having systems in place that explain that, because I'm a stickler for details.
You really are.
I know, but it makes things feel so fleshed out.
I know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying you are.
Yeah.
And I'll probably come to help, like, ask for your help when I make a magic system for the fucking magic comic. I'm gonna make 2 magic comics.
Ooh.
Shit!
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, one of them's, new... I want to make a noir comic, but everyone has magic.
Oh, shit. I imagine divination would be very popular.
I mean, yeah, especially since, oh hey, MC's a detective for a noir. What a surprise.
I could see them easily being like an oracle. Like, easily.
He's not.
Oh.
He's just a detective.
Oh, no.
I mean, he has magic. I just haven't really thought of, like, what other magic besides, like, a concussive blast if he gets in a fight, because, you know, he's not a policeman. He can't shoot to kill.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna need to ask your help for a lot on that
That's
shit.
fine.
But yeah, then there's the other, which is just the trashy as fuck Monster Girl comic I want to do, because I like Monster Girls. Fuck it. and that's going to be set in generic fantasy land, so there'll be magic.
Jeez.
Yeah. See, I'm probably going to need your help coming up with magic systems for 2 worlds. Oh boy.
What the fuck? Oh, so I'm just looking on Twitter right now, and I just came across a post.
Oh, okay.
A 9,000-year-old skeleton was found in a cave in Cheddar, England, known as a Cheddar Man. When CM's DNA was tested, a living relative was found teaching school half a mile away, linking back 300 generations. Shit.
What the fuck? Half a mile away.
And then someone comments, imagine being in the middle of a teaching lesson and you find out you're a descendant of the bony cheese man.
You cut out again, motherfucker.
It's the comment is, imagine being in the middle of a teaching lesson and finding out you're a descendant of the bony cheese man.
Oh.
That's funny as hell. Oh.
Oh, goddamn.
Twitter is some weird shit.
Twitter is something. Twitter is fucking something.
Here's another one that someone reblogged. It's quotation marks,
Oh, okay.
I'll DM you, I said. You sit patiently expecting a private message at any moment. There's a knock at your door. It's me, dressed in a surprisingly well-made wizard robe, arms full of books and dice. Roll for initiative, I mutter.
Oh, that one. I've seen that before.
That is
All right.
hilarious. I like that. Roll for initiative. Oh, that's funny.
And on that note, I think now's a good time to stop for now. Before we get sucked into just you telling me shit you found on Twitter for like the next half hour.
Yeah. We talked for a bit. I think that's a good stopping point.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone.